Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zinn is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zinn and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zinn.
Yes, here I am holding another piece of space again on another day and another moment. It is Tuesday. It is August 19th. And you are here with me. You made it. Thank you so much for being here. I see Bernadette out there. What's up, Bernadette? Here on the Sacred Spiral Network. I'm holding space every Tuesday. I hold space for another incredible, amazing guest. I unfold the universe one little corner at a time, and we get to meet another inhabitant of the universe, and share space and share energy. So that's what the show is all about. So I appreciate you guys being here. I see Christine, I see Evelyn, I see Holly, I see all you guys out there through the magic mirror. I don't know if you guys remember Romp Room. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your intention of being here. It's much appreciated. If you can, just take a moment to click the share button if you know anybody who likes these kinds of conversations, or type in the comments #live. That tells me that you're here. It tells the algorithm that you're here. It tells the universe that you're here. And you know how the universe works. So that would help. If you're watching the replay, you can type in #replay. If it's not Tuesday, August 19th, then you're watching a replay. You're not watching me live, which is cool too. I appreciate you being here even then. I just want to open up the space. I see Lorraine out there. I just want to open up the space with Sage. Here I am now holding Sage. Sage is my amazing sound bowl. And if you can with me, as I ring Sage, I'm going to ring Sage and kind of vibrate the bowl to do its frequency thing. Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out with me, and that will kind of ground us all together in the moment, right? Across the Ethernet, the internet, all of that stuff will connect through our breath. So I'm going to ring out Sage here, and you guys just breathe in deep a couple times. We'll do 3 deep breaths. Breathing in. Push it out. Breathe in. Push it out. Already. Only 2, and I can feel it already. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Oh my goodness. Every week, I remind myself how amazing it is to breathe. Every moment, actually, but specifically with intention here with you guys. So amazing. You could feel it. You could feel the blood moving through your veins. You can feel the energy. You can feel it. It's amazing. I'm excited. Why? Because I'm always excited, because I'm here holding space with you guys, but I have a guest on my show who is somebody who I've never met. As you guys know, if you watch the show, sometimes I have a friend on, somebody who I know, and I have a great conversation, and I know that conversation is going to be great. And then sometimes Kelly Brickle, the amazing producer over at Sacred Spiral, brings on some amazing guests that I don't know, and I have amazing conversations anyway. And I'm excited for tonight because I was doing a little bit of research, and I always love when I come across kind of a new term, and the term I came across tonight was paramystic. So it's like almost like a combination of metaphysical and paranormal, which I like and I'm excited to hear about. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome to Holding Space tonight's guest, Kristina Bloom. Hello, Kristina.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight?
Awesome. It's great to be here with you.
Awesome. It's amazing to have you. I love this journey I've been on of just kind of meeting incredible beings across the universe.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. I love it. I love
and
it.
yeah, and having some great conversations, exchanging energy. Um, the amazing audience from Sacred Spiral is always so engaged, and
Yes.
bringing great energy as well. So I'm excited for tonight's conversation. But let's start with the new term that I heard, mystic term. Uh, that
Yeah.
term is that something that you came up with, or I don't think I've seen that around.
Well, what happened was someone had contacted me from overseas. Hi, Christine. Um, who wanted me to do a show on their radio network, and it ended up not going anywhere. But I put a lot of energy into what is it? I had to come up with a show name. And so I did a lot of meditating and asking my spirit guides, and it just came from the meditation of paramystic, paranormal, and the mystical.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
And the reason I love it is because for me, in my journey, I've come across a lot of amazing people, like I said, who have incredible gifts, right? Different kind of metaphysical gifts, or people have incredible stories, near death experiences, things like that, or experiences maybe with aliens, or experiences maybe with interdimensional beings. But the thing that I found is that it's all connected, right? These are
All
all
of it.
they're all kinds of like different facets of the same diamond, you could say.
Yeah.
Different drops from the same ocean. I see the quiet healer out there. What's up? Lovely to see you. So I love the paramystical, but tell me, okay, so tell me, you were trying to figure out a name for what you do, so tell me what you do exactly.
Well, it was actually a name for a radio show, and now I'm using it for my podcast, and I'm with All Access Network Television. So
Awesome.
I started out with Paramystic Christina, which has kind of become a tag for me. But the name of the show is actually Paramystic Podcast with Kristina Bloom.
I love it.
I am a paranormal investigator. I have been for many years, and I am also a teacher. I had a tagline before, and I don't know why I'd stopped using it, but it was something like making the mystical understandable or something like that, right? So
Mhm, mhm.
um, that's where it came in. Hi, Lorraine and Evelyn. Thank you. she, she loved the tie dye, so
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
Oh, you're keeping up with the comments better than I am.
Yeah, I kind of got used to doing that.
That's great.
um, so I am a psychic. I'm also a medium. Most Not all psychics are mediums, but I think all mediums are psychic. I think that's
Mhm,
how that
mhm,
works.
mhm,
But I also teach. I do uh, past life regressions. I am a certified hypnotist. I do a lot of different things. I teach a lot of different classes. I'm an author. I have 2 books that are available on my website. That would be the textbook for my flagship class, I guess, or my flagship program, which is Intuitive You. So I have the textbook for the first level of that out, and um, 2 and 3 are in the works. Yes, I've got the 2 shows,
mhm.
both on YouTube. Um, Breakfast with Bobby is with a friend of mine named Bobby, and it took me a while to talk her into it, but we would
Mhm.
be going out for breakfast like once a month and realized that when we were having conversations, people around us stopped talking. They
That's
were
cool.
listening to what we were saying, and we're like, "We gotta do something with this. We
That's
gotta do
very
something
cool.
with this." So, that's where Breakfast with Bobby came from, and that one is strictly on YouTube at this point. We are working on getting it on Spotify and some other outlets, but that one is only on YouTube. And then Paramystic Kristina radio show. There it is. Oh yeah, it's still up there. Podcast. Um, that one, it goes out on all of the outlets. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. Outlets for
Mhm.
all access network television. So we have. I can't wait to see you either, Keith. I'm going to meet Keith. I'm going to meet Keith. I'm so excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ran off. Sorry, ADD just kind of took over there.
That's
But
okay. No worries. That's no
yeah,
worries. We got a lot of friends out here who are here to see you, which is
yeah.
great. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, Lorraine. It's really nice to be on a show I've not been on before and to meet you. I'm
Oh, thank
excited
you.
to meet you too. And um, I think I answered your question, but I might be
You
starting
yeah
to talk in a
yeah you
circle.
you you did, and I love what you're saying about having conversations and then all of a sudden realizing that people around you are listening. I think that's kind of what this show is. That's what the live stream of consciousness is. That's what a lot of the shows on the Sacred Spiral Network are.
Mhm.
Your shows as well. I think it's an important moment in time, where humanity is kind of uh, trying to figure a lot of stuff out, and it's through these connections, I think, that we are figuring stuff out. I think
Right.
we're starting to kind of accept each other, speaking to so many psychic mediums, hearing so many stories. There are certainly lots of psychic mediums who grew up in households that were very accepting of their gifts and nurtured their gifts, but then there's a lot of stories where you hear, you didn't talk about this stuff.
Right.
Imaginary friends were imaginary, they were made up, there were different things. But now I think it's such a great time, where perceptions are changing,
Hmm.
and people are
I
starting to
agree.
open up, and I think that's because they're starting to feel it inside, right?
Mhm.
Energetically, I think they're starting to experience some things that kind of validate these things that have been on the outside for so long,
Right.
and accepting them, just because, well, for me, it's a knowing, right? It's not like you question these things at a certain point. You just
Right.
you have experiences, and then you're just like, okay, I know that this is the way it is, right? um
I can't
that's
prove it, but I know it.
right.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
that's a good question that I ask
Yeah.
on the live stream of consciousness, to a lot of my guests. Do you have a specific memory or a story, a moment where you kind of realized, or something happened where you were like, okay, there's more to existence than just this 3D meat suit, going to bed and waking up every
Yeah.
morning? There's more to it. Was there a
I,
moment?
I feel like I've always known that only because family stories. And um, the first time it was discovered that I had some sort of ability, I was a toddler.
Hmm,
And I had had a dream. And in this dream, I walked into my grandparents' home office. They had a home business. And instead of a desk, there was a hospital bed with a lady in it. And I remember in this dream climbing up on this bright yellow step stool that my grandmother had. She actually had it in real life, but it showed up in the dream. And
no.
I kissed the lady on the forehead and pulled a sheet over her head and woke up crying. And
Wow.
the next morning, my mom went to call her mom to tell her about it because my mom knew who she was. I didn't know who the lady was, but my mom knew.
Oh,
And
wow.
this was in the 70s, right? So right around 1970, my mom called her mom. Her mom was calling her at the same time to tell her that a family member in Sweden had passed away that night. And
Mhm.
that's how the message came through to me because it was that lady's. She's actually the great grandmother I'm named after, but I never met her. She died years before I was born.
Okay.
We figured that out going through a family album later. But from that point on, that was the first of, I think, 5 or 6 dreams that I had that were exactly the same. And
Wow.
every single time, some family member I never heard of before, living in a different country, had passed away, but they were all related to my great grandmother.
Wow. And the dream was the
Yeah.
same with the hospital bed
Yep.
and the kiss on the forehead
Yep.
and
Same dream. It was,
wow.
yeah, it was a premonition dream.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. So your mom knew that it was this relative of yours? Your
Yes,
mom knew?
because when my mom was growing up, that grandmother, who was her grandmother, lived with them, and that was
Mhm.
her bedroom. After she passed on, it became my grandparents' home office.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she knew. She knew who it was.
Wow.
But
And
yeah.
your mom has abilities as well, or she
Some,
just
if she
kinda knew?
does, she doesn't really run with it.
Right,
So,
right. But in this case,
yeah.
she knew.
She
Just
knew, yeah, and then they pulled out a family album and asked me if I could identify the lady, and I could, it's like, "Oh, yeah, that's
wow.
her." Then they knew for sure that that's who that was that I was
Wow.
seeing. Yeah.
And
So I've known my whole life.
mhm, mhm,
I probably wouldn't even remember that if it hadn't been for family stories, but,
mhm, mhm.
I yeah, Luke,
Do you
I'm
well,
with you, Luke.
do you remember the feeling? Do you remember the feeling of interacting with this entity, with this energy? I mean,
Um,
that's pretty
yeah, I felt sad because, even as a little kid, I knew that I was covering up the head of someone who died,
mhm, mhm.
even as a little kid, I knew that.
Right.
But as I grew with it, it was really like, "Mom, I had the dream again. All right, I'll call my mother and find out what happened." So that's, uh, that's how that happened. So
Wow.
I've always known. I've always what I didn't know, ironically, was that other people didn't necessarily have the same abilities I did.
Mm, mhm, mhm,
So,
mhm.
going to school, I mean, I'm thinking everybody does this, right?
Right, right.
I was probably in 7th grade when somebody said, "You should probably just stop being so weird." And I was like,
What do you
"I don't know
mean?
what you're talking about."
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
and I have heard that before actually, right?
mhm.
Because why would you think that everybody can't do that?
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, right? And I'm sure you say this too. A lot of the psychics I said is that
Everybody can.
everybody can do this,
Yeah.
right? It's just a
Yeah.
matter of tuning into the
Right.
frequency, right?
Right. My whole Intuitive You course is based on the idea that everybody can do it. It's just a matter of how you receive the information.
Mhm, mhm. I love that. And so you've built pretty much a lot of material around, and a lot of what you do is try to kind of coach people through raising their own
Yeah.
intuition, and
Yes.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, so I'm curious as to what your intuition might tell you about me.
Oh, put me on the spot.
I'm putting me on the spot too, if you think about
Yeah, that's true.
it.
That's true. Well, the way that I do this, I'll just explain my process too,
Sure.
because we don't all have the same process. For me, the process is when I tune into you, I open up my heart center and I
Mhm.
send a stream of energy that connects in with your heart center. That gives me
Mm.
information for you, not what's in the chat room, not what might be floating around my house or your house, but that's what gives me that information. So
Mhm, mhm.
give me just a moment and let me just tune into you.
Sure.
Well, the first thing I saw is you're kind of running around in circles. Like you've got a lot of different things going on. So you're like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And it's
Mhm,
like you're just kind of running around in circles, like
mhm, mhm,
getting stuff done here, there, and everywhere.
mm,
Um, I feel like though, when you stop and you take the time out, you really have learned how to center and balance. Like you really just, and you can do it pretty quickly because you've practiced it.
mhm,
So that's
mhm,
another thing that I picked up about you. You're also psychic yourself,
mhm,
so I don't know if you do readings or not because I actually have not looked at your website, but
mhm, mhm,
I do know that you are certainly capable of doing readings and
mhm,
healings.
mhm,
'Cause
mhm,
I feel like there's a very strong healing aspect with you. I also see a bear with you, and in my tradition, bear is healing clan.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I see a bear with you. That tells me you're a healer or you're healing yourself, but this
mhm,
one looks like you're a healer.
mhm, mhm.
Um, let's see, what else are they going to tell me about you? You like to share information when you have it. You like to have the deep philosophical conversations. You like to spread that out kind of everywhere.
Hmm.
Like you really like, and not just on the air, but at the coffee shop,
Hmm.
or running into somebody in a grocery store or whatever.
Hmm.
That's where you'll have that conversation with anybody anywhere.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it doesn't matter. It's like
Accurate.
your spirit is seeking connection
Hmm.
everywhere.
Yes. Well, I like the way you put that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up from you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Interesting. I don't necessarily do readings, not in any sort of traditional sense.
Mhm.
I do feel like that's why I asked you the question. And I think I have never really been, so this is me just in a nutshell, right? I've never really been somebody who is drawn to a psychic in the way of seeking information or asking a question about myself or my future or even the situation or whatever. Um, but I feel like I've said before, I have a psychic fetish in that I love energy, and
Yes.
when I watch a psychic do an energetic exchange that's authentic, I
Mhm.
can feel it. I can experience it, and I love it. I love being around it. I love like just watching it and feeling the emotion of it. And certainly I'm sitting in this chair because there's a connection to the energetic realms, in all
Mhm.
different layers.
Absolutely.
And people have asked on the last couple of shows about me doing readings. And I think it's something that I do want to develop, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure specifically how. In other words, um, because I know so many people, I have taken different classes. I took a class on understanding the Akashic records and learning to read the Akashic records. I've taken a bunch of different intuitive development classes, and all of them resonate. Right,
Mhm.
I have an amazing experience every time. I learn something new, but I haven't found one that's like, oh, I got to go back to this class and do
Right.
this again and pursue this specific avenue, because again, I feel like all of the avenues are valid. They all light up, the
I
streets all
totally
light up.
get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
get that. Yeah.
yeah. Something that I experienced recently is something that I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do again, and this isn't really an intuitive development, or maybe it is,
Okay.
is breath work.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, breath work is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
so breath work to me is like, it was like meditation on steroids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was a very intense experience, and I had experienced it first as a documentarian, right? I do video. That's how I got into this show and doing this stuff, right? So a friend of mine asked me to document a breath work workshop, and man, it was so intense. It was like
Yeah.
watching people experience it. It was almost like, it was like, is this real? Is this performance? Like what is this, right? If you've never seen anything like it, I had. So I knew it was a performance, but it was so powerful.
Yeah.
Um, and and that was like probably about 6 or 8 months ago. And then I went on a retreat in Costa Rica a few weeks back and actually did the breath work. And man, oh man,
It's
um,
life-changing.
it really was. It
Yeah.
was like a bit of an out of a body experience.
Mhm.
I sensed myself, I sensed my body, but I was also not that. I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Kind of observing, I think, in a
Yeah.
way, which was really amazing. Um, so
That can be
anyway,
the start of trance channeling.
you know what? It
Yeah.
certainly could be, and
Yeah.
again, that's the thing that I love about these conversations and these different people that I get to meet is how do I put this? I mean, I certainly can remember 15 years ago somebody, finding somebody talking to the Galactic Council on YouTube
Right.
and being like, okay, that's a bit much, right? Like that was a bit much for me. I just didn't. I was like,
I get that. I get that.
I
Okay.
was, I guess I still was like not judgmental, right? In a way, I was just like,
Mhm.
I'm not there yet. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And it wasn't like I was heading in that direction. It was just like I awesome, awesome for you,
Mhm,
right? That was my response. And then, you know, years later, experiencing a trans channel in a way that, just watching a video, I had an emotional response.
mhm.
And for me, I was like, whoa, what is that? That was energetically something was reaching me, with that
Mhm.
whole experience. And Lorraine says light language, and yes, it
Yeah.
was it was a trans channel who was speaking light language. And I just started crying. And a friend of mine was having this woman Sarah live at a workshop, so I said I got to go see it live. And
Mhm.
I went live, and again, emotional response, like nuts, right? and
Yeah.
and I think that opened me up to the idea and to who I was, as far as not judging people, and
Mhm.
realizing that who am I to deny anyone of what they're telling me that they're experiencing, right?
Right,
Whether it
right,
be an alien abduction, whether it be a near death experience, like how can you deny any of that stuff, right? Because that's what that person is experiencing. Maybe there's mental health stories, right, where it's like, oh, are they really seeing that, or are they not? But even in those cases, I feel like the reality is here, right?
right,
And who are we to say that that's not real, right, if that's
right.
what we're actually experiencing?
Yeah,
And that brought me to where I am now, to where I can have a show where I can hold space, for really anybody, and just enjoy the heck out of it, because
yeah,
it's fascinating what this universe has to offer.
right.
um
I
as
have
a
to say when trance channeling, which I had no intention of ever doing, but when it happened, it changed my perception of everything. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it was just, how did that happen? How did somebody else step into my body, use my voice, and get a message across that I was not able to get across through mediumship? Like, how did that happen?
I
You
love what you're
know?
saying. I want to explore that. Can we explore that a little bit?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did that feel? So I did read on your website that you channel and I love when people do this, and I've been experiencing this more and more, just a collective of light beings. It's
Yes.
not something specific, but they come through with a name, Bartholomew in your case, right?
Mhm.
um and I mean, I love that Sarah, when I met Sarah, she was channeling the light of Amana,
Okay.
which was something I had never even heard of, right?
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. So tell me about that first experience. When it first, you said when it first happened, you didn't know, like, you felt like something took over. Like, what did that
Right,
feel like?
right. Well, what it felt like, I was doing, a women's, study group in my home. We were studying a book, a spiritual book, and this light being, it was very, very brightly colored, and it was, like, standing off to my right, and it kept trying to get me to say what it was saying, and I thought I was, but it wasn't getting through to this group of women. And I do wanna say, fortunately, this happened in my own home because it kinda knocked me out. But I was not there at all. I don't know where I went. I had no recollection of about 45 minutes.
Hmm.
But when it was done and this entity left my body, I opened my eyes to a room full of women with their mouths hanging open, like,
Wow.
what just happened? Fortunately, a couple of them had the presence of mind to take notes, so I at least got some inkling of what had happened. That's how I found out that the collective came through and identified as Bartholomew,
Mm.
because somebody took notes. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that. I was not present at all
Wow.
at that time. So it kind of freaked me out a little bit, like, that had never happened before.
I can imagine.
And, yeah, so I have since then, well, Bartholomew and I wrote a book together, but I kind of, rewrote it and then released it again as Wisdom for the Age of Ascension.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but there was also, like, since then, others have started channeling through me. Like I have channeled Christ consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
the Marys, the I am, um, some ETs have come through.
Mm.
So there are 2 Pleiadians that have come through, different Pleiadians, and uh, an Andromedan recently has started
Wow.
coming through. So there are several that I have channeled since then.
Mm.
But yeah, it really freaked me out the first
I
time.
can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, when you
yeah,
describe it, I can remember. I can remember, and I feel weird, kind of going back to a story about myself. But I can remember
yeah,
when I was a kid, falling on my head and knocking myself out, and waking up to everybody looking over me, like, oh my God, is he okay? So that's what I'm imagining that experience. Like suddenly you came
right.
to, like, from somewhere else, like you
From
weren't
somewhere
there,
else.
like,
Yeah, I have no
yeah.
idea where I was. I have no recollection of that 45 minutes of time.
Wow. And so
So,
somebody was taking notes, and they came back to you after and said Bartholomew came through. So what was the next move that you did? You intentionally try to contact Bartholomew again, or did Bartholomew just decide to come through again? What was the next?
well, in the notes, someone had written that Bartholomew will continue to speak through me.
Okay.
And it wasn't very long after that. I was living on the West Coast at the time, so I was driving on the Pacific Coast Highway, and somebody jumped into my body who didn't know how to drive my car.
Ooh,
And um, I had my young child in the back seat,
oh my
and
goodness.
I managed to get off the highway and got out of the car. I'm surprised nobody called the police to come and take me away because I was like, "Get out," like standing in a parking lot screaming, "Get out." But
That
after
was
that,
you screaming get out
that
to
was me
whatever
screaming,
entity was.
yeah, like, "You did not
Wow.
have permission to do that, and if you don't know how to drive, don't jump into somebody's body when they're driving," you know?
Seriously, you think you would know
Seriously,
better.
you'd think. But what that prompted me to do, though, was to understand that I needed to have a contract with the universe. So
Mm,
I literally, not long after that, sat down and wrote out a contract with the universe. It's like these are the times that you cannot come through.
mm,
When I'm driving, when I'm cooking, because if you don't know how to handle heat and sharp objects, you absolutely do not belong in my kitchen.
mm.
And when I'm spending time with my family, or when I was at work, because at the time I had a full time job.
Right.
But
Mm.
my part of the contract was I will do what you ask me to do outside of that.
Wow.
So, and that has stuck pretty well. The other part of the contract was that I asked them to please take care of my body while they're using it
Mhm,
because
mhm,
I don't have control of my physical form when they're using it. So,
mhm,
and
mhm.
they've all been very respectful with that. If I start getting fatigued or tired, they tell whoever the audience or whoever they're talking to. Um, yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Booyah. Chris,
yeah.
Courtney says booyah.
Courtney, I love Courtney.
Me too. Courtney's always welcome here. She's like the,
Yes.
the member in the audience always cheering on Bernadette.
Yes, similar to an out-of-body experience. Yeah, I have those too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome. And Lorraine mentions there's a lady on YouTube called Lane Thorpe. Jonathan, her voice changes to a man's voice. Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen some trans channels who really physically change
Mhm.
almost, and it's just amazing. And I think, again, we were talking about this time, right, on planet Earth, when
Yeah,
people are open to it, and I think that's a big part
mhm.
of what I'm talking about too. Like trans channeling has become huge,
Right, right.
I was just watching, I don't know if you know, Elizabeth April. She's a woman on YouTube who, she's not a trans channel. She is a, what is she? What's it called? Oh my goodness. Remote viewer. She's a remote viewer.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like, again, to me, I'm confusing them, because to me it's the same thing, right? It's just allowing energy to kind of come through and communicate with you in a way that, now you're going to communicate out some sort of message, right, or some sort of information. And I think that.
Similar. I agree it's the same energy.
Mhm.
It's just that it's used differently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
that would be the difference. Remote viewing, you can project your consciousness somewhere else and
Mhm.
simply observe without sharing any messages.
Mhm, mhm.
So
True. But I guess what I was thinking was it's all about information, right? Because
it
if you're
is.
if you're putting yourself in another place to observe, you're trying to see what's going on, right? It's all
Mhm.
about information. I think consciousness is information.
It is, absolutely,
You
I
know,
agree.
so
Yeah,
and I think that's what it is. We're just floating around on this sea of
yeah,
information. We just happen to manifest into these three-dimensional meat suits, and for the moment, and
yeah,
here we are. It's amazing when I really start to think about it, right? Like, here I am
yeah.
talking to you, thinking that you're different than me, like
And
some
yeah,
different
and
entity, right? And
we're not.
knowing deep inside me that we're not, but still kind of
Right,
I'm having to play this role and experience
yeah,
it this way,
yeah,
right? Because that's what the moment is asking for,
right,
and that's what we're here to do. We're here to just show up for the moment in the
yeah.
way that we are. So,
Bert,
okay, let me
yeah.
get back to you, because that's one of the big things that happens here in Holding Space. We go off on a tangent,
I
because
love tangents.
I
Tangents
do, I
lead
do
to
too.
interesting places. Can I just say, Bernadette, I completely agree. Remote viewing is a type of astral projection. I
Mhm.
think that the difference between when I do it in my sleep, and maybe you have more control over it, maybe you're doing it lucidly in your sleep. I have not mastered that.
Mhm.
But it is a type of astral projection. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. It's just when you
Absolutely.
do it when you're awake, you can guide it more consciously, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, isn't dreaming astral projection, really? I mean,
I think it might be. I don't really understand dreaming because, man, if I try to make sense of my dreams, they're going to be locking me up.
right. Well, I guess what keeps me sane is what I was saying before about reality is all up in here, right?
Mhm.
So I think when you go to sleep, you're actually able to leave the physical
Oh, yeah, I
boundaries.
think
You know
so.
what I mean? You're leaving the
Yeah,
physical boundaries and
I
able to kind of
agree.
experience reality and go different places. But again, I'm trying to spin this back to you, the para mystic, um, Christina. And so tell me where the I guess the para part comes in. Is this for me, paranormal covers a couple of things, right? It covers like ghost entities and spirit entities, but it also covers like aliens. Is
And
there
cryptids
and cryptids? Okay,
and the Fae community. I
and the
mean,
fae community. All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay,
right,
awesome.
because the paranormal is other than normal, right? So it's
Mhm,
outside
mhm,
of what we consider to be our reality.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
That includes a lot of stuff.
It does. An infinite amount of stuff, as a
An
matter of
infinite amount of stuff. I mean, I named 4 things and it doesn't even scratch the surface,
fact. That's right.
Paranormal is just what's outside of our normal.
Totally.
So, those of us who investigate, research, do all of that kind of stuff with the paranormal, we tend to pick whatever interests us, right?
Mhm,
Whether it's
mhm,
ghosts or aliens or cryptids or whatever. Hey, Casey, I love you
mhm,
too.
mhm,
I love
mhm, mhm.
Casey and Courtney are sisters. I don't know if you knew
Oh,
that,
that's
but
awesome. I
yeah,
love it. I
yeah.
love it. I
So
love tapping into this community. I want to just say goodnight
yeah.
to Lorraine, who is
Good night, Lorraine.
saying goodnight in the UK. We're closing the lights on our international audience over there. Tucking her in.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, with the paranormal, I mean, it's I guess as a medium, because I deal with the spirit world so much, as a
Mhm,
medium,
mhm, mhm,
I don't have any questions really about that.
mhm,
Just, 25 years of doing this professionally, I've come in contact with a lot of different spirits. I've come in contact with a lot of different loved ones for myself and others. And so I don't have any really questions about that, about,
okay.
what is it, or
Mhm,
it be personally, that's for me personally.
mhm,
When other people have questions, I'm happy to answer those.
mhm,
But when it comes to like cryptids, Bigfoot being one of my favorites, and I've got Bigfoot stickers on my car. I've got a Bigfoot keychain. I've got, you know, but
Excuse me. So explain what the cryptid is. I haven't heard that word. Cryptid
oh,
is,
a
what does that describe?
cryptid is basically I guess the definition is forms of life that have not been identified
Okay.
on planet Earth. So,
Okay. Okay.
so then you've got like Mothman,
Mhm,
the
mhm, mhm,
Dogman, the
mhm.
Hodag, the
Like you're
Snarly
saying
Yow.
fairies and
Well, fairies are, I guess, supposed to be part of the Fey realm, but I think that
okay.
that's just the way human brains need to categorize
Okay.
things.
Right,
You
right,
know what
right.
I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
to me, paranormal's paranormal. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter,
Right, exactly.
if
Right.
you're on a glowing saucer that comes out of the ocean or if you're walking the land. It does. I mean, it really
Mhm,
doesn't matter if you
mhm,
come in from
mhm,
outer space.
mhm.
Paranormal's paranormal.
Right.
But the cryptids are identified. That's why they have cryptozoologists, people who are trying to identify unknown species, that
Gotcha,
sort of
gotcha.
thing. So
Bigfoot, chupacabra.
chupacabra,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm, mhm, mhm,
the Nessie
mhm,
or
mhm, mhm.
Champ in Lake
Interesting. Okay,
Champlain,
okay. Cool, cool.
yeah. So there's that's what cryptids are, and it's a whole nother study of things too. But I love the cryptid community as well because
Sure.
they're just as excited about it as people who are doing paranormal investigations at haunted locations, right?
Mhm,
They're just
mhm,
as
mhm.
excited about the people doing the CE5 meditations to
Yep, yep,
contact aliens.
yep.
Everybody has their thing, and I know a couple of people who have written books about fairies and fairy communities, and
Mhm.
I mean, I've come across a few fairy circles in my time, and I know what the rules are. You'd never enter one without permission. Yes, I do channel ETs.
Mhm, mhm.
Somebody asked that question. Yes.
Angela, yes, my
Yes.
favorite. Angela loves grilling my guests and
Yes, I
finding
do
out more.
channel
Yeah,
ETs.
nice.
Yes.
Some days I'm a cryptid.
You
So
and me both, Courtney. Some days.
I love that. Oh, Christina,
Yeah.
I love this conversation because really, I mean, I think only in the last couple of years has that kind of community been open to me, right? But
Right.
like it made so much sense to me again because I feel like reality starts here in the imagination. You know what I mean? And I feel like anything that anybody has ever imagined exists somewhere. That's where it
Right.
came from, right? They basically weren't they didn't create it, they just tuned into that frequency, to
Right.
feel it, to understand it. um
Yeah.
Crazy. So
Yeah.
Casey says they found spots on my brain and I told my daughter the fairies are converting me. Oh wow. um Interesting, and that's an interesting perspective way to look at it
It
too,
is.
right? I actually love that.
So my body
um
is tingly and numb because
yeah.
they're
Oh, Casey,
transforming me. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's really interesting. I actually love that perspective.
I love that perspective too, and it actually does not surprise me at all coming from Casey. She's so magical. Her and Courtney both are just so magical.
That's
They're
great.
just
And
yeah.
you know what? That's what I'm excited about this moment in humanity because I think, the people who, you know, uh, are telling these stories, and I don't mean that in a bad way, right? Who are coming
Mhm.
back with this information and these perceptions, there's so much joy,
Yeah.
right? A lot of times there's so much joy, like you were talking about the passion that people have about, Sasquatch or these different things.
Mhm.
um I think it's great. I think that the energy is just amplifying, right? The frequencies are just becoming louder. More and more people are uh finding the ability to
Yeah.
tune into these frequencies.
The frequencies are rising on this planet.
Mhm.
Yes. I will
Awesome.
do that, Casey. When we're
Yes.
done, I will send you some Reiki.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Decorate your house with
With some
sunflowers.
I love that.
Awesome.
I love that.
Awesome.
Um,
So, okay, so test. Can you have any? What's your favorite story? What was your favorite experience as a paramystic?
wow. God, there's so many. I think one of my favorite stories is uh I don't even know. Like I said, I've like no concept of time. I swear. It's just like I just don't even understand time anymore. But sometime in the last year or two, I was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan at my friend's very magical place.
Mhm.
She has some she's right on a river, and it's right on the bend of a river, and it's just the flow is beautiful. And the train ride. Oh, well, I wasn't going to talk about the train ride, but that's another good one.
Courtney knows the story.
Because it's the same place. It's the same place.
Cool. Okay.
But I was feeling a channeling coming in
Mhm.
at my friend's. It was like it was the night before we were going to start an event, and I went up a day early, and all of a sudden I'm like channeling Sasquatch.
Hmm.
Like a Sasquatch is coming through and giving her information. And then the next day during a class, he came through again and asked if the women in his community could join our class. And so, I mean, like, everybody there felt it. Everybody who was there felt these
Wow.
other entities enter into the room. And then all of a sudden they started doing a healing on someone who was there, who was in need of a deep spiritual healing. And the whole event shifted to this amazing healing event that these Sasquatch were doing. And
Wow.
it was just phenomenal. It
So
was
were the
phenomenal.
Sasquatch, were they channeling through people, or they just were there energetically?
Well, they channeled through me
Okay.
and then said that they were going to spiritually heal this woman.
Wow.
So then they were working on her.
So
Yeah.
okay, so first one Sasquatch came through, but then when he asked if the women can come, the women
Yes.
Sasquatch came
Right.
through you.
Right. But
Wow. What a crazy
the
experience.
women Sasquatch who have come through me all speak light language.
Okay.
The men who have come through me, as I think it's been 3 of them now, um, they use my voice and they speak English, but it's kinda choppy, like it's
Okay.
second language, obviously, to them.
Okay.
But the women just speak the light language. They don't even mess with my language. They just go right to the healing.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow. So
that's one of my favorites.
that's
Yeah,
that's a great story. I love it. I haven't even
yeah,
heard. I have not really spoken to anybody who channels Sasquatch. I've spoken to people Yahweh and Mary and all these entities.
yeah,
But Sasquatch, no, never.
yeah, that
But
was
you
interesting.
said something that I think is really important, and I think probably most of the audience here understands, but I just want to say it out loud for people who may not understand it, right?
Mhm.
And that is perspective, what we're talking about. You talked about you were going to visit your friend, and you said in this magical place.
Yes.
And I think that that's an important, to me, that's an important observation of the story, right? Because you are the observer, you're the creator of this experience, and you're
Mhm.
going into it already with this perspective of this place is magical.
Yeah, I've been
And
there several times, and it is very magical.
I think that
Yeah.
it's important that people like open themselves up to these ideas of seeing that in a place, seeing that in a moment, right? Seeing that in an event, like just kind of going into an experience as if it is magical, right?
Yeah.
In order to be on that frequency and make that experience magical,
Mhm.
let that magic come through. You need to be open to it, right?
Yeah,
And I think that goes back to also what you said about everybody is psychic, right? I think
you're right.
it's magic is everywhere. I think
It absolutely
we just
is.
need to open our eyes to it, and we need to just believe in it, and then we can experience it.
You know, I'm of the mind that magic is normal, and we are taught that it is not.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. And I love the way you say that too, right? Because that's without getting it too much into like conspiracy theories and
Mhm.
starting to talk about it from the point of fear and manipulation. You're
Right,
just like, Matt, we just aren't tuned into the magic, and we can.
right.
I love that. Angelo is saying, hey Jennifer, do you know Tears for Fears, Duran Duran? And Jennifer is saying, I love 80s music. So we're having some readings going on in our audience between
Yeah.
audience members. I love that. And Jamie says hello. What's up, Jamie?
Hello, Jamie.
Christina, you're so awesome to talk to. This is so much
Oh,
fun.
thank you.
I mean, I feel like we could really go anywhere with this conversation.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, besides your channeling experiences, which are more energetic, do you have any physical experiences, maybe with aliens or other beings, or
Um, yeah, I mean, I know that Courtney's just waiting for me to tell the train
The
story. Can
train
I tell the
story, yeah.
train story?
Yeah,
Okay.
but before you do,
Yeah.
Angelo is dying to know about the flag with the bear on it. Do you have a flag with a bear on it? That's what he's seeing, a flag with a bear on it. I don't know if that means anything to
Do
you.
I have a flag with let me think about that.
Hmm.
I don't think I do.
No, he just said earlier, I
Yeah.
see a flag with a bear on it. So
Yeah. It might
nothing.
be for somebody else in the audience
It
too.
might be for somebody else
Yeah.
in the audience. All
Yeah.
right, so let's hear the train story.
Okay, so same place. Okay.
Magical place.
Magical place. When my friend bought the place, there were two full-size antique train cars on it with kind of a garage built around them, right?
Mhm.
So they are from the, I want to say, mid to late 1800s, very old train cars. And I've been in there several times. I've talked to the spirits in there several times. That is the only place I've been where I actually saw a physical Sasquatch through the window, like it
Hmm.
was looking in at me when I
Oh
was.
wow.
And I woke up and looked at it and went, "Oh, hi." Like, I wasn't gonna leave at that point, so, um,
Wow.
but yeah, and I'd been in there several times, but we were in there, we had a ghost box, spirit box thing to
Mhm.
see if we could pick anything up, which we did. We picked up some things. But I was drawn to this one particular time to go into this little closet that I'd not been in. And I mean, it was like maybe 2 feet square, so not a big closet. And
Mhm.
I typically don't go into places like that because I'm a little claustrophobic. I don't like places like that.
Okay.
But I was drawn to go in there, and all of a sudden, these trains that don't even have wheels on them, they're sitting on cement pads, started rocking like it was moving.
Oh wow.
And the other people who were not inside that little box were like, "The train's moving. Why is the train moving?" And
Ooh.
we went all over the place
Oh
in
my
that
goodness.
train. It was amazing. Yeah, like and several people have done it since.
Wow. That's a crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So now everybody who goes in there, and if the train moves when they step into that closet, they
Yeah.
get to get their picture taken with an engineer's hat on it.
And so is there like a feeling that goes along with that? I mean, what is
Yeah,
that?
like physically, you can feel I mean, people are like, rocking back and
You
forth with the
feel
train.
wow.
Somebody stood up and lost. Yeah, it's a kind of a time travel train, right? So, um, people have lost their balance standing up when that train feels
Wow.
like it's moving. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my God, that's crazy. I just got this
yeah,
this it just kind of I'm just thinking about it and it just kind of came to me as like two moments in time in one physical place, right? Like
right.
almost like there's a weird crossover in that energy there.
Right.
Wow, that's really cool. Oh my God.
It
Ooh,
is
I got
really cool.
chills thinking about that.
If you
That
ever find yourself in this part of the world, let me know and I'll take you there because
yeah,
it's worth
wow.
experiencing.
So cool, so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing what's going on. So what do you have going on now these days? What's up with Christina? I mean, I know you've got your radio show. Um
Yep. I'm also a part-time co-host on another radio show, From Beyond with Glenn Bottis. And um, that is totally not creepy. I love it. Um, So, I'm a guest on or I guess a co-host on his show,
cool.
once a month, and that will be coming out Monday. So I will be
Awesome.
sharing that on my Facebook page. If anyone's interested, I'll be sharing it on my socials.
Awesome.
And then, I'm doing a lot of psychic fairs, some paracons. You have to get Glenn in here too. Yeah, you would love Glenn, but
Oh,
like
cool. Awesome.
yeah, but Glenn lives in England, and so, right now for him, it's like 2:30,
You'd
three
have to
o'clock in the morning.
coordinate. Yeah, you would have to
Yeah,
coordinate. Well,
yeah.
I'd love to get his information from you. That would be great.
Yeah, I will be happy to share that with you. Glenn's an amazing guy. In fact, I went to England this year and we recorded a TV show together. We recorded,
Awesome.
yeah, 10 episodes of a TV show that we are hoping to get out somewhere. But yeah, that was really cool. That was fun. I will be in Maine at the Maine Paracon and HorrorCon, September 6th and 7th.
Awesome.
On the way there, I will be doing a séance in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
On the way back, I will be doing. I know, right, Courtney? I can't believe it either. I still look at the picture to go, "Is this real?"
Yeah.
On the way back, I will be near Allenton, Pennsylvania, doing a CE5 and some private readings.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've got it. I pretty much booked through the end of the year as far
That's amazing.
as
So I'm imagining
events
you're
gets.
the kind of person who likes talking about this stuff too, and
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
likes to share it and bring it to the public. So you mentioned the CE5
Yep.
earlier. Can you just tell people who may not know what that is a little bit
Yeah,
about what a CE5
absolutely.
is?
Dr. Stephen Greer came up with a frequency meditation, and it works best in groups so that you have like the group energy to through this meditation, you send the energy out to invite um, ETs and their ships to come so you can see them, to have interaction with them. And it's pretty successful most of the time from what I understand. I mean, you have to be careful about airspace. You have to know like flight patterns, and if you're near a
Right.
military base and that sort of thing, there's some setup for that. But yeah, it's been really successful the times that I have been involved in them.
That's awesome. So I've been
Yeah.
hearing some of my friends who are experiencing things like that, where you actually have like night vision glasses, right? And you're set up to really kind of you're like it's like a UFO observing mission.
It is pretty much, although I've never had the night vision glasses.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but I love it because like you said, it's successful. And I think,
Mhm.
so many people are, it's just, I mean, do you think that I'm going to ask you a question. I kind of know the answer. I mean, like, do you think that the aliens are like making themselves known?
Oh,
Like, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, we know
Absolutely. Yeah.
what's going on. Times we
Yeah.
were supposed to go to one of those meditations.
Yeah.
Janice is talking about. We were going to go to one of those. So Angelo actually has a good question. Is Bigfoot a multidimensional being?
There's no proof either way. I'm going to say that up front. I believe so. I believe so. And I believe that they are far more advanced than we are.
Interesting. So that being said, I guess what I'm going to interpret that as they kind of come in and out of existence physically here on Earth.
Well, they've been known to, yeah. Where people are watching them and all of a sudden they're just not there.
Right. Right.
They don't see them go anywhere. They're just not there again,
Right. Right.
And then they sometimes seem to appear right in front of you. But I know that there's been a lot of time skipping, and I'm looking at the time and going, boy, there's a lot more to talk about. But I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this time skipping thing, but I sure am. And I don't know if I'm like shifting dimensions or what. I do a lot of driving. I mean, like I said, I go to events almost every weekend. So
Right.
I do a lot of driving, and a lot of times that driving is at night, but sometimes these things happen in the day. Like
Right.
I was on a secondary highway. I did not see any cars in any direction for miles. And all of a sudden there's a semi truck in front of me that I did not see in front of me before. Like I
Oh,
didn't creep
wow.
up on it. It was just like, there it is.
Oh my goodness.
And I think that I might have been in a different dimension and then returned to the third dimension and realized there's a truck in front of me. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah,
Like,
I gotta say I've definitely been experiencing some interesting moments over the last a while. I can't even say how long it's been, but
yeah.
I know before I went away to Costa Rica, I definitely felt like I was experiencing things on a new level, right? So what I was saying, and I think my audience might have heard this, is there's a physical aspect of experience, right? There's an
Right.
emotional aspect, there's an intellectual aspect, and there's an energetic aspect. And
Right.
I was kind of feeling the energy of moments and definitely feel like I jumped timelines a couple of times over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
When we were in Costa Rica, we spontaneously decided to get married, right?
Oh, cool.
And it was just even that, like, even though I know that's linear, it was like a jump. It was like
Mhm.
we changed our reality, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just really good. So I just want to go back to the Bigfoot coming in and out of existence. Jennifer Rose is asking if that's through portals, like how that might work. And
I don't know. I guess I'm assuming so because otherwise I wouldn't my brain would not be able to comprehend it any other way, but that doesn't mean that that's proof.
right,
That's
right.
just
And
the way
that
I
makes sense,
experience.
right? I mean, as humans, there are certainly things we just don't understand, right? Because
Right,
they're
right.
they're kind of advanced. And Bernadette is saying, "I may be
Yeah.
experiencing what you're experiencing, differences I have no clue, and how to control it." Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sometimes I don't know how to control it
I
either.
do, I
Yeah.
think that's the point, is you don't
Yeah,
control it. Like,
yeah,
you just kind of gotta go with it and let it be.
right.
And I think that's the easiest. That's been the easiest way for me to deal with it.
Oh,
Just like,
me too. I just flow with it because if I'm not flowing with it, I'm freaking out. So flow with it.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It is what it is. And,
Mhm.
and it is amazing time. And it's great to hear that you're so busy and so active with what you do. And I think for you, I'm a little envious, because I think that's where I'm kind of heading, right? And that is basically surrounding yourself with people who think the same, you know what I mean, as far as like what humanity is, where humanity is at, you know what I mean. I'm not just saying like, oh, you believe in cool aliens and UFOs. Like, there's depth to that, right?
There is
And
depth to
there's
that. Yeah.
reason to it, and there's a reason that there's a community behind it, right, to all support each other.
Mhm.
So kudos to you for finding that community, for becoming, a leader in that community, you know what I mean, becoming a voice of the community, that other people kind of can listen to and be like, oh, this makes sense. Like, when I look at the chat rooms of shows that we do, and people are like, oh, I've experienced that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense to me. I feel like we're all just kind of giving each other a hug and saying it's okay, like, this is
It's
not, you're
okay.
not crazy, you know what I mean, you're not a weirdo. Like, someone said, stop being so weird to you when you were in school, you know what I mean,
Oh, I
you're
embrace it now.
yeah, you're the
I
normal one.
embrace it. Like,
Sure.
I really I throw myself under the bus on the daily basis, you know? It's like I will talk about whatever comes up and not be afraid of it because I want to be able to create that holding space
Yeah,
for people to be able to say, "Oh my god, I'm not alone."
totally. And
Yeah.
how validating is that, right? To the
Right.
younger you, to be able to go to younger you and say, you weren't weird. You knew something that they didn't know, right?
Yeah.
You can heal that inner trauma, just
Right.
by being you, who you are today.
Mhm.
I love that. I
Yeah, and
love
I can
that so
help other
much.
people heal theirs just by making that space for them to say, "This is what I'm experiencing. Maybe I'm crazy." Well, maybe you are, but maybe you're not. And
Absolutely.
maybe crazy is more sane than what we are used to calling sane.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree. This is the looking glass. This is through the looking glass. We're already on that other side. And
Yep,
I'm glad to
absolutely.
have found a community and have found you, and conversations like this, moments like this, right? We just spent a great hour,
Yeah,
just
this has
really
been
enjoying
great.
each other. This has been really great. I'm gonna have to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to have you on my show.
talk more. I would love it. This is great. Again, that's our
Yeah,
mission, right? Just to
yeah,
be ourselves and let everyone know, like, we're cool people. This is fun. This is good stuff. This is love based. This is,
it
you know what,
is.
that's what I was going to say, because there's a lot of conversation that we had and things that we talked about that I think, there's another approach to it, and it's fear based, right?
Right.
People are approaching these topics afraid of them, and I think I love that about you and your energy, is that you just embrace it all. And this
Thank you.
community embracing it all, fairies and all, right?
Yeah.
It's all real. It's all different perspectives. It's all
It
just
really is very different perspectives, and
Mhm.
I mean, can we prove that they're not real?
Right. And
That's
why would you want to?
exactly, exactly. Keep the magic.
Exactly. Awesome, Kristina. You're awesome. So
Thank you.
before we sign off, because I think, oh yeah, we're a couple minutes over. It's all good. There's no sponsors or anything. Do you have any parting words for the holding space audience here on Sacred Spiral?
I actually do.
Awesome.
And that is, if you have a dream, don't hold back. Don't hold back. If you can't do it today, you can do it some other day, but take steps. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Take a step towards it. Take a step towards it. Make it real. You know, I have wanted to go to England my whole life. And this year I was able to do it, and I was able to do some really amazing things there with some really amazing people. And yeah, if you have a dream, don't give up. Take a step towards it.
Love it.
Don't let anybody stop you from
That's
your own
right.
magnificence.
It's your dream for a reason.
Exactly.
It's your calling.
Mhm.
Words of advice, Kristina.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. Very exciting.
This has been a wonderful experience. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Michael.
thank you so much for saying that. I will be back next week. I don't know who I've got. Kelly Brickle hasn't told me. I don't have it on my board over here to my right. But I'm going to show up because I know it's going to be a lot of fun. The conversations here are always great. And thank you guys also for showing up. Kristina, don't go away. I'm going to run the credits, but I do want to say
Okay.
goodbye to you personally.
All right. Awesome.
And
Thanks, everyone.
and I've got some end credits to run. So come back next week, Holding Space, live stream of consciousness on Thursdays. I've been Michael Zinn. I always have been. I still am, and I will probably be the next time I see you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Bye-bye.